Hey, this is Joe Roy. I am doing a segment on strumming. I'm going to move around a little bit, so just kind of follow with me or put it on pause if you need to. The first thing I want to do is kind of emphasize what strings work with what chords. Like on the last segment we talked about the D. You can play mostly from the fourth down. You can add the A and give it a little more depth. And a lot of times that's good if you're writing your songs like we talked about. You can start kind of low, you know, with the higher part of the chord, and then you can actually build it. And dynamics are a really good way to keep your song interesting. So if you're doing a little singing part here, but you cannot play the E with this. So this is where we're really going to have to practice, is because the strumming itself is the one part that gives you it's the voicing behind the voice. The voice would be the chord, but you're talking with this hand. And one of the techniques I use to teach people is we're gonna go down to the neck here. You're gonna just mute the whole thing, right? And then we're going to strum, go back over here, we're going to strum the pattern. The reason that works is because then you don't have to listen for the voicing of the chord. You don't have to worry about when it sounds terrible because you're hitting too many. You're hitting this, or you're hitting. You're not able to push the strings down enough to make the chord. What I want you to be able to do is get a feel for the rhythm of what this hand is going to do. You know, if you get that, if you start really kind of understanding this, you're playing what this hand is doing. The playing. This hand's making the chord, but this hand's doing the playing. Once you kind of get that going, then you'll understand when you're hitting a chord, you're still doing it right in a sense. If it sounds bad, there's several things that could be going wrong. You could be that problem where you're not actually voicing the chord, you don't push the strings down hard enough. Or if you're doing that, you could be doing this. So in your exercise, I want you to work on just strumming these. And the other thing could be is that it could be out of tune. If your guitar's out of tune, it's going to sound like dirt. So just remember that. Always tune your guitar. The C2 that we learned, that can be from the A string down, the fifth string, and I count again from the bottom up. A string down, you can play. And then the G chord, that's going to be, you can play all the strings on the G chord. It actually helps to hear it in the little, with it deadened, so you can actually hear kind of the rhythm that I'm playing. I play a G, if you notice down here, I put my pinky on the bottom string, 3rd fret, and then I put my my third finger, 1, 2, 3. I put that on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. The reason I do that is because I can give an actual. This is a G, or I can go either one. Now the next chord we're going to do, come back down to the neck, and that's going to be an E chord. That's also a chord you can play all the strings on. Now I want you to kind of watch this. Let's take a look at that chord right there. Now that's Sweet Melissa. So that's a fun little combination, very pretty chords that you can incorporate in your song. Now the next chord I'm going to do is an A minor. You can do that little hammer on and a pull off. Hammer on. The A minor, you can't play the E with it, you can play the A down. And again, if you start lower in the strings, which is kind of higher in the tone, it's going to be. You can build the dynamics of your song by adding more strings to it, and you get to the A up here, and it gives you that nice meaty sound. The next chord I'm going to do is going to be an F. Now F is, you can actually do the F like this. If you can, you see that good? Okay. So it's, but you can also lift this finger and go like this. So, and if you slide it up 2 frets, this is like a G. See? So if you're doing your song, say you're doing the little hammer on, if you do the F, you can make that like a little bridge for your song. So we got the A minor, we got the C2, the G, the D, and there's the E. Let's see, what other chords? And this is a B minor. Now this is a different chord shape. It's a shape that goes all the way up and down the neck, and we're going to work on these more. These are bar chords. But anyway, what I want you to work on is just your basic strumming patterns. Once you kind of get a groove going, work it out. Don't get too deep in there. You want to slide your pick across the strings relatively nice and light, and work at relaxing your hand, but hitting the note, the strings you want to hit. And that's where the practice comes in, because if after you do it for a while, it'll be, you can hit the high, low. You can make it kind of voice any way you want. But if you're having trouble with the chords, remember to just kind of chuck your, call that like a chuck. Chuck your rhythm, so you know you got your rhythm going, and watch what you're doing down here and see what you're playing, and kind of see what notes, what strings you're hitting. And that's one way to start working on your strumming. All right, well, great. I hope to see you again. Bye.